Hi, it's Sarah again. So I really did not want to come on, and some difficult stuff has happened today. It's been a day of no and disappointment, and yeah, so how to manage, maybe that's not the right words, but how to manage disappointment and the feeling of a door closing. And what I felt today, well, what's happened is that we moved to Exeter. Isla and I moved to Exeter. We left Lancaster, all our friends, busy practice, and we moved for the Steiner School down in Exeter. And we've not been able to get in, and we've been here over a year. So we finally went for the appeal process, and it was quite intimidating. You know, like it was a bit like it reminded me of going to job interviews. And Isla actually came with me and prepared a beautiful statement. And I read my statement, she read her statement. And the conclusion, because it is a really full, popular school, the conclusion that we found out afterwards was no, there's no room for you here. So it was pretty disappointing. We put our heart and soul into it, and we've been waiting and waiting to get in. And that's why I didn't want to turn up today. Like, it's so easy to run away and hide, but I'm very committed to you and to myself and being out there and sharing how I deal with life, because it feels like, you know, I know it can help people. So how to manage that discomfort and the feeling of a no, and I'm not going to call it a rejection, because it wasn't a rejection of myself or of Isla to go to the school. It's just that there was no room. The doors shut. The doors have closed, and it's a no. And, you know, we did the usual stuff of, you know, having hot chocolates and a bit of retail therapy, you know, like no, in no way did we think that was a band-aid, but it was a moment of kind of celebrating that we put ourselves out there and that we tried. And, you know, who doesn't want some chocolate when things go wrong? And what I've felt is this opportunity to really feel how it feels to have the doors shut and the plan not work, and not to reject ourselves, or not to reject, you know, not to feel the no and then to carry the no through my body, if that makes sense. And just to really allow myself to process all the feelings that come up. And, you know, when the doors do shut and or the floor, you know, leaves from underneath you, how do you respond to that? And I think what's come to me is that how I'm responding to Isla's disappointment and my inner child feeling disappointed is just to kind of, I like to imagine that I'm cradling myself, that I am the floor beneath me, and I am the arms that hold me when things don't go right. And I think over time, as you grow up, I don't know if do other people react like that when there's disappointment? And it's just really, really holding yourself through the process and allowing the feelings to come up, not to hide them or squash them or put a brave face on. It's like, just allow yourself to feel. Oh, thanks, Claire. Just allow yourself to feel all the feelings that come up, and use it as an opportunity to give yourself more and more love. And what else? There was the feeling of just having, like, after the chocolate and after the holding myself, you know, not literally, but emotionally or energetically, is I just lay on the bed and I felt the tiredness hit. And for me, tiredness is not physical tiredness. It often is actually energy moving through me, shifting between dimensions or frequencies or consciousness, you know, feeling old patterns emerge. Hey, Alex, I'm here, even though I didn't want to be here at all. Anyway, I am here, and it's thanks to you. So thank you, Alex. Alex, I'm going to gift you a creative kinesiology session with me online, because you've got all of us girls online, and you deserve it. So there. Oh, really, Claire? That's really good to know. So yeah, things are. So when tiredness hits, or your body feels weird, or you're not feeling vital, and you're not feeling like strong, your body's just like reacting. I just know it's not my physical tiredness. I eat well, I sleep well. So I know it's something else. So I just allowed myself to lie down, and probably like that hot chocolate was really strong. So the sugar probably knocked me out. But I lay on the bed for a few moments and just allowed myself to breathe in and out. And that sounds very simple. I didn't call it meditation. I just lay there and just allowed myself to breathe in and out, and to just allow my mind to disconnect for a few moments. I didn't sit there and meditate. I just was breathing and just allowing breath to really fill my lungs, because I tend to breathe really shallow and into my stomach, probably because of yoga teaching, people teaching me yoga and breathe in your stomach. But I actually found out from someone that's been working with me that I don't engage these things in here. I don't know what they're called. And if they're not moving, I know I'm breathing really shallow. And this guy was amazing when he showed me, like, this needs to engage if you want to breathe properly. And then breathing into my lungs, but then imagining that my nails are terrible, breathing into my fingers, like imagining that my lungs are just not really the deal about breathing, that the breath goes all the way to my feet, all the way into that my whole body goes like this. And just doing that a few moments a day, even like not making a big ceremony out of it, can really allow you just to, well, disconnect the mind just for a second, like, will you shut up? And it gave me a moment lying on the bed after today's disappointments just to feel all the energy moving around me. And because we had a plan, and Isla was going to be in that school, and that's where we want to be, and then it's not happened, and then now this is like a no, and it's not a no like the end of the road. It's that there's a whole other set of stuff happening that me and Isla don't really necessarily understand on this plane. Doors shutting like that, to me, are a big sign that there's something bigger that's going to happen. And we just don't know what it is. And we don't know where it is that we're needed. So the fact that today has happened, I don't know what it means exactly, but me lying there allowed me just to be aware and accept that there's all these cogs and wheels turning around in our in me and Isla's personal energetic environment. And I could really feel that. I wasn't feeling the busyness of the sugar of all the people in town, or of the pressure of being in that panel situation. It was actually me just feeling like, oh, whoa, there's a lot of energy moving around and in my system, and I'm not going to understand it now. But just allow it to settle. That's all it was the breathing on the bed and just closing my eyes for a moment, was allow, just to appreciate that that's happening, but allow everything to settle a little bit. Because these cogs, if you imagine the inside of a watch, you know, like all the cogs are turning, and one turns, there's like lots of little cogs turning too. Just allowing that to happen, because something's happening for me and I just don't know what it is yet. So, yeah, managing a no, like just giving yourself a time to feel how it moves around the body, and just to know that a no often means many doors are opening, not just one, usually like 20, I would say. And just to keep open-minded about what's next. So I could have been disappointed. I mean, at first my post was going to be called Managing Disappointment. And I realized that that's an interesting way of looking at it. And yes, I am. Did I cry? No. I did not cry, because it's making me feel like, well, actually, I've just been on a call with people that I listen to that inspire me, and they're the ones that were like, well, it's interesting, isn't it, that door's shutting because maybe you're not supposed to be there right now. And I was like, and you know, I mean, I know we are disappointed on some level, but there's other levels going on in our system that is calling us to somewhere else. So for me, and I am, so if you're my friend, if you know me personally, I am the eternal optimist, and I will just look and be hopeful whatever happens. So no, I did not cry, and oh, thanks for listening, guys. That's really nice. I am trying to get the hang of like reading, not being overwhelmed by the heart stuff. And yeah, so I don't know what's next, and just allowing that space and just knowing that on the level that I am disappointed and that Isla's disappointed, that my family is disappointed because we did all this, we moved all the way down here for that school, that it's okay, it's really important to manage that like you would manage a toddler, you know? You know, how would you speak to a toddler that had lost something that they really cared about? You know, it's dealing with yourself and your emotions and your feelings and your thoughts with that level of care and kindness, and just know that there's a bigger plan sometimes, and you just don't know what it is. So I did it. I came onto the live again, and I'm gonna do it again tomorrow, and I'm gonna keep going. So Alex, that's online now, she's did like a 5-day challenge, but I think I'm going to try and do 90-day challenge on weekdays, so not weekends necessarily, and just keep showing up until this becomes much easier. And yeah, lots of love, everyone. Take care.